Okay, we're starting. The session is now on recording. So I want to welcome everyone to tonight's session. And this session, what we plan to achieve is to understand how to start managing our product backlogs in JIRA. So practically it's going to be moving product backlogs to JIRA. So that's what we plan to achieve, and we're only going to learn how to plan a sprint and manage the sprint and close the sprint. So because very soon we are going to be needing it. So if you pay attention, we will know how to use JIRA from tonight's lesson. Okay. Is there any of us here that do not know what JIRA is all about? Okay. JIRA is a tool, is a project management tool, is a project management collaborative tool, more especially for managing projects in agile environments. They have a lot of features and functionalities that will help you to manage agile project. Plan your scrum, plan your sprint in JIRA. So this is what we are going to do. So there is no need of teaching us project methodology. We've done that already. Have we not done project methodology? We've done that during project management. Yeah. So there is no need of going back to learn about. So you already know about agile project management, you know about Scrum, you know about sprints, you know about Scrum Master, you know about all the key players in agile environment. So whether you are the project product owner or business analyst, is the duty of the product owner to manage the product backlog. But if there's no product owner, business analyst has the duty of managing product backlog and then move product backlog to JIRA and manage the product backlog in JIRA, prioritize it, groom it, and every other thing that's happening in product backlog. So that's why it's very important when we are talking about product backlog. You see that product backlog, if you want to call it another name, maybe in a waterfall, can say technical requirement. So that is it. It's going to be practical. So what I have to do, I have to start sharing my screen so that I can start moving my items to JIRA. So we are going to see the way I'm going to do it. And after this, when you are going to, as you are implementing your own projects, when it's time to move it to JIRA, you will know how to move it to JIRA, because at that point, I'm not going to do it again. So I'll share my screen and I'll then go to JIRA software. So this is the backlog I'll be working from. I'm going to move some items here from here to the backlogs. So more especially, I'm going to be working on contact and lead management. So that's the item I need to move to I'm moving them to the JIRA.
Charles, you can't see screen now.
If you cannot see screen, then
That's
is
your network. Your
is
network.
I
Is the
think it's
screen
your
is showing?
network. It's very clear.
I can see the screen very
okay.
clear.
So you can see it from your network. So if you are seeing my screen, what I'm showing here is my product backlog. Dynamics 365 CRM product backlog. That is the software product backlog we have here. And what I plan to achieve, I want to move items from here to the JIRA where we are going to be working. So it's just like you creating a work breakdown structure in Freight Camp. You know, we are not using Freight Camp at this point because Freight Camp is only good for managing projects in waterfall. It doesn't have functionalities like sprint environment where you can plan your sprint in JIRA. So that's it. Another product like JIRA is Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps is owned by Microsoft, but it's exactly like JIRA. Everything JIRA can do, they can do it. I think Microsoft borrowed lead from JIRA when they were producing that particular software. So what do? We go to JIRA, we type JIRA. So JIRA is a cloud software, and JIRA is owned by a company called Atlassian. So you see JIRA here is it's owned by this company called Atlassian. Okay. So that's it here. I'll start from here. So if you don't have account in JIRA, it's very simple. So it's very simple to open account in JIRA. Just go to JIRA, you sign up. I already have accounts, as you can see. If you come here, I have, you see here, 1, 2, 3. I have more than 3 projects going on in JIRA at the same time. So that's why once I click on it, it will take me to some of the projects that I'm working on in JIRA. But it's very easy to get a JIRA account. So you go to JIRA, you sign up in JIRA, and you should be able to have yeah. So if you come to JIRA, JIRA have got so many. Sorry, Atlassian. They have got so many. This is the company Atlassian. They own this software called JIRA. JIRA is not the only software they have. So many of you must have heard about Trello. This is Trello. This company owns called Atlantia. They own Trello. They own JIRA. They have so many other products they have, which is not JIRA. So they have so many products. You know, if you click here, these are the ones I'm using here, but they even have an ITSM products. So, but this is the one I'm currently using. So that's why they are showing in my dashboard. So, and in this project, I'm going to use JIRA. So I need to select JIRA. You see here, I'm going to select JIRA here. These are recommended. They have another one called Confluence. These are all their products. But what I want to use is JIRA. So if you type JIRA in your browser, it's going to pop up, and they have free account. For use their free account and then sign up. Once you sign up, you can use JIRA. It's free forever. You don't need to pay anything, and you can use it to manage people with a group of like 10 people, and it's free forever. They have other features, other great features, which if you want to use some certain features, then you have to pay. But their basic or standard free feature or free account will give you a lot of value. So they give a lot out for free, and I appreciate them for that. So, and this, I've been using JIRA for, I can't remember, quite a long time I've been using JIRA. So that's it. So what I'm going to do is to create a project. And once I create a project, I should be able to start moving items. Yeah, that is what we plan to achieve. You can create a team. You can, when you want to, here is team. From here, you can create a team. And from the team, you can invite team members. And from their team, you can create a project. So I'm not creating any team. So all I need to do is to show you how to. It's very easy. It's not difficult. You've been using Camp. It's the same thing. The only difference is that you can use this software to manage project in agile environment. So from here, I'll click and I'll create a project. So this is how I'm going to create a project. So once you click create a project, it will navigate you to all this. This is templates. All of them. So what it shows here, you can use JIRA to do a lot of things. So you look at it here. This is JIRA bundle. This is software development. This is service management. This is work management. This is product management. This is marketing or human resources. This is finance, design, personnel, operation, legal, sales, analytics, IT. So you can use it to manage different projects. Like here you see marketing. You're in a marketing team, you can use it for marketing project. It will give you a template for marketing. But here I'm using it for software development because that's what we are doing. So I'm going to select this software development. This is what is going to give us Scrum template or Sprint template. If I select marketing or human resource finance, the template is going to provide me is not going to be good enough for me to manage projects in agile environment. So that's why I'm selecting. Make sure you know the kind of projects and select the right parts. So these are other products they have, like I said, this JIRA service management and this JIRA product discovery. If you click here, you see more. Software development, and you see software development here. It gives me interface for Kanban. We briefly talk about Kanban during our project methodology class. So Kanban is projects just for visualization. Here you see visualize, mainly for visualize, gives you visualization through board and card. So there's nothing much about it, just to provide. But the good thing is that even this Scrum we are going to use will provide you with Kanban as well. So there's no need of using Kanban. We are going to manage our this thing under Scrum. Scrum here. And you see, when you are using Scrum, this is Scrum sign. This sign is made for Scrum, means continuous delivery. Continuous delivery. See, sprint towards project goal and board, backlog, and timeline. So we select this. So you see here Scrum. And we go down here and select use this template. This is what is going to provide us: epic, user story, bug, task, and subtasks. Click use. Now with click use, it will still ask us a little more question. It's going to ask us whether it's team managed or organization managed. So and we're selecting this is team managed. So select this, and then it will require us to provide the name of the the name of the project. And here, so I'm going to say CRM projects. And I will say demo because it's not, this is just a demo for you guys. Okay. Now that is the name of the project. So when you are going to implement your own projects, you just remember to write the name. So that's it. That's what is required from you at this point. Then you proceed, come down here, and you click create projects. And the project will be created. Okay, you can see now the project is created for us. In the project here is, you see there's a project that is created, and this is the summary. As you see, this is board. This is the sprint board. As you can see, nothing is happening here. It's empty because we've not done anything. So initially, there's an update in this JIRA. Initially, this interface is captured at this side, but after the recent updates is recaptured here. So for some of you who are using this before, it might look different, but still the same thing, just rearrangement. So this is the the summary here. This is the dashboard providing the project metrics, dash kind of what is going on, project status, overview, and you see nothing is going on. Everything here is just 0, 0, 0, 0. Then you have timeline. That is where you have to start creating epics and then breaking them down into user stories. And we'll have backlogs. This is where we are going to find our backlogs. When after we, this is it, you see backlog, there's nothing here. So all our backlogs from our documents, we've been managing all this while I ask you guys to create. If you have created one, then you have something to move here. But if you didn't create anything, maybe you plagiarize my own. Okay. And here is where you move the product backlog to when you start want to start implementing. This is sprint. Plan your sprint. Here you see it. You have to move items from backlog to here before you can start. Once you here, you plan your sprint and you start your sprint from here. So there's other things here. We have board. This is the first thing we'll see when we open it. This is sprint board. But you can only see items here when we must have finished planning and start the sprint. And this is calendar, list, form, goal, issues, and other things here. So let's get started by moving our item. Before we get started, we have to create the epic here. We call it epic. You see I've highlighted, we call it epic here. So that's what we're going to do. What we're going to work on is contact and lead management for now. If you look at our backlog, we have a lot of things to do, but we have to start from somewhere. We have to start from the items that are on top of the backlogs. When you are doing prioritization, the most important items are on top of the backlogs. The less important is at the bottom. So that's why we're going to start from the top, because they are the most prioritized, the most important. And that's it. Contacts. Contacts and lead management. Contact and lead management, and we create, click enter. Now we've created. So we need to start bringing user stories or product backlog items under this. See here, if we want to bring smaller items like user stories, styles, you should use this plus button to add them. And If you come to our backlog here, this is our backlog. This is what we are going to be moving. That's it here. The first item here is tax, software licensing. So that is what we're doing. So it's not this, but this is the first thing here. We're going to capture this under both contact and labor. It's software, like we need to get the software before we do this. So that's the first thing. So I need to change this to software licensing. So this, I will edit this. I'll change it to software licensing. The first thing. So software licensing, and I'll add. So what I'm going to add, you see here, this is user story, or you see this small arrow drop down. If you click on it, it's going to bring other types of backlog items. If I click on it here, you see we have tax, we have bug. I'll choose tax here because software licensing is not a feature. You just go buying the software. So I'll add it here. The task that is meant to be done here is to procure software licensing for D365 CRM sales. And I'll add. So, and that's it. So that's done. I need to create another epic. Another epic I need to create is contacts and lead management. So now I have to start bringing items under this. And if you go to my this is what I've got here. I'm not going to become, I'm going to see I've highlighted the key keywords here. The keywords here are the user stories, and the other ones I describe everything together. You see, user stories and description. So these are the keywords that will form my user stories, and I'll just add. So here is not going to be tax, it's going to be user story. So I'll change it. I'll select story. Story means user story. And I will enter. Then I'll start bringing other user stories. See, so that's what I mean moving product backlog to JIRA. So the next item here is I want to assign lead to specific sales representative. And then I need to bring the third one, and that is I want to track the status of lead. So I want to track the status, lead status. So and then the next is what's the next? I want to schedule follow-up tasks for lead. So yeah, enter. Then the next is then I want to generate reports. To generate reports. Okay. And I want to be able to search for lead based on specific criteria. Then another one. I want to import lead in bulk from external source. And that's it. This is what I plan to work on for now. You see here, we have so many backlog items here. There are so many of them. And yeah, well, these are all the upcoming projects, a lot of activities coming up, but we can't finish everything in one sprint. So it just is a continuous process. But the main thing is that we've started. That's how to do it. You have to start from somewhere. Now you've moved all these items, your product backlog items, to JIRA. You need to refine them, or you can use the word grooming, product backlog grooming. So, and to groom them. Every one of them here, you need to under this, when you are grooming, you need to bring acceptance criteria and give it estimation like this. Under grooming, we have a grooming session. The team should have a grooming session. Once you move item here, you have a grooming session. When you're having a grooming session, you need to involve others. It's not going to be you. Here is your duty to move them to move items to backlog to here JIRA. But once it's JIRA, so it's going to be group activity, team activity, going to involve developers as well at this point, because it's not you, the product owner or business analyst, is going to determine a lot of things here. So under this, there's other things here. You see, we need to describe these items here. You see, performance. Please, if you are the one, put yourself on mute. So you need to describe this for you to describe. So if you click on this, you see, put your description. And that's when this, if you need to be describing them in football, this is just this. There's nothing much to describe here, just the same thing. It's straightforward. You want to buy a license, there's nothing to, doesn't require any more explanation. So, and it does not require acceptance criteria. Only thing required here is the effort is going to take to do that. So we're going to look at the estimation. Who is expected to do this? A business analyst. You are expected to procure this. And you need to tell the team how long does you think, or what is the effort required. Is a straightforward activity. So the story point is going to be estimated within the range of 1 to 10, and 1 being the easiest. Let me not use easiest, less effort. We use the technical language, effort. They require less effort, and then the 10 will require more effort. So because this is not going to require so much effort to procure the license, we just give it 5 story points, and we are done with this. So this is fully refined or groomed, whichever language you want to use. So we come to contact and lead management. So let's start refining items under contact and lead management. And we'll come to this. This is the first item here. I want to be able to create a new lead from the CRM system. Okay, the description here. We go to back. So this is time to bring the full description of this user story. Here, this is it. I will bring the full description. And yeah, so this is where I describe it in full. Then I come down here and create acceptance acceptance criteria. So I'll probably come back here to. So this is the acceptance criteria for this. You need to grab it because the developers, they need to understand the acceptance criteria. This is a standard. It serves as a standard control so that developers will know the standard you want. And add it. Now I'll save. So after saving, it's not done yet. We come down here, to put if like when you as a team, you are starting, once you create the team you are working on will be showing here. So that's probably this. So we come over here, add the story point. The story point here is this. Let's say this is not so, it doesn't require that much effort. So let's just give it 6 story points and we save. And that's it. This is sorted. It's fully refined so that anybody who read this should have enough information to understand what is going on here. So that is why. So if, oh, okay. Okay, the next is going to be assigning lead to a specific rep or assigning a rep to whichever way. So just to make sure that every lead have a sales reps working on them. And we need to describe it further by bringing in, this is it. As a sales manager, I want to assign, so grab it, come back here, you tuck it in here. You come down, then come back and grab the acceptance criteria. That's the acceptance criteria for this. You grab and you drop it. And then you save. And after saving, you go down again and assign a story point, that is estimation. We give it 7. We save. We close. So this is done. And then that's how you and the team We continue till you finish refining all the. You can't start sprints until you finish refining. At this point, the work item here, they are not ready for work. They are not ready for sprint planning. It's only after the grooming, refinement that you can say, yes, I have enough work items, we can commit to the sprint, and then you call for a sprint meeting. So this can happen in different days, not just one night I'm doing it, because refining or grooming session can take up to 3 or 4 hours with the developer system. You can do it, and after doing it, it's take a lot of time. So because you need everybody to make an input, so it's not just something you just back. You do, so you need to take time because we are working with a team. So what next? You see, I want to track the lead status, and this is where we describe it. You come here, you grab items, and after this, we should be able to go and start planning. So you grab, come here and drop. You grab the acceptance criteria, which is the standard control measure, and that's it here. You grab, you drop, and you save your work, and come down again, add the estimation. Let's say this is requires more effort. We'll give it 9/10, and yeah. Didn't enter. So send, save. And this here will have the estimation. We have the description, the user stories is fully described with acceptance criteria, and we're happy. We close. So that's it from here. Let's look at our backlog. This is backlog. This is timeline. This is just where you plan all this. So they call it timeline. Then you go to backlog. So let's scroll down and see what we've got. So the backlog should be showing here. All these items here, they should be showing in our backlog. Yeah. Yeah. So they are now reflected. So we see him. So all the items we dropped in here, they are in the backlog. If this is a backlog, you see we have 18 issues in the backlog. That's product backlog items. And you will look at if we need to start work, we need to start our sprint based on the backlog item that are ready. So looking at our backlog, you see we only have 4 items. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 items that are ready. So the rest here are not ready because we've not finished refining them. So whatever that is fully refined, that is what we need to work on. So, yep. So I hope we are following. Are we following? Am I talking to myself?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we are.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, the next thing here is to move items to sprint. So it's time for us to do the sprinting. And during the sprint planning, the developer should select the work. So it's not you, the business analyst or the scrum master or the product owner, that we select the work they have to do. Your own work is to refine and prioritize the items based on importance. Prioritization means that, like I said before, the most important items should be on top. Meaning that you see this, all the backlogs we have on top here are the most important. All these things are flexible. They are drag and drop. Some of them you can, this one that is on top, you can drag it down. The one that is down, you can bring it up. They are flexible, you can drag them around. So now let's start planning from what items that are more important and fully refined. And we're starting from licensing. So use drag and drop. Drag and drop means you just grab it, use your mouse, grab it, and you drop it. This is where you are dropping all the items you are going to work on. This is plan your sprint. So drag issues from backlog section or create issues to plan. So that's what you are doing. I drag this, I bring it here, and I drop it here. So you see, I've dragged the first items, I've chucked it in there. Drag the second item, I chuck it in here. I will bring all the refined items. I'll keep on bringing them, and yeah, that's it. So all the work items that we have refined, I'm bringing them here. So with this, the team need to decide what they call sprint goal. Is this, do we have enough items in this our sprint environment to help us achieve the sprint goal? And the main thing here is to do the configuration, implement this so that the sales rep can start using this to bring lead in and at least manage leads. So is this enough to help us start lead management? If yes, then we start. And that's it. If everybody is in agreement, so that's the way you do it. Everybody must agree that the work item we have is enough. And if everybody is in agreement, then we can start the sprint and then write the sprint goal. So, and when you move items, this is, at this point, we call it product backlog. Product backlog. Then when you move product backlog from product backlog environment to sprint environment, it ceases to become product backlog. I want you to take note, because if you want to write your Scrum Master exam, certification exam, or product owner certification exam, these are the kind of technical questions they are going to ask you. You know, once you move product backlog to sprint environment, it becomes sprint backlog. So we have product backlog and we have sprint backlog. So all the items here are sprint backlog. You see it's sprint. So they are sprint backlog. You see here, they are product backlog. So they've changed the name now. And then you come over here and you click start. Start sprint. It will bring a dialog box for you. In this dialog box, it's going to tell you to select how many, the duration of this. 2 weeks is the most popular. But you click here, you see we'll have 1 week, we'll have 2 weeks, we'll have 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It cannot be more than 1 month according to Scrum Guide. So let's choose 2 weeks. Choose 2 weeks. Here, that is the start date and that is the end date. And you have to come here and put the sprint goal. The goal here is to implement so the goal here is to implement the 365 CRM cells for lead and contact management. So the item here will let us, after this, we can get started with our lead and contact management, and then subsequent sprints we continue to build on what we've started. So that's it. You click start, and once you click start, the sprint has started. You can see it has moved us from product backlog environment to sprint board. You see board, call it sprint board. And you remember when we started, there is no items here in the sprint board. It's only, it was empty, but you can see now we have items here. And you see, this is what we call board. We have 3 boards here. 1 board is to do for items that have not been worked on. The second board is in progress board. The third board is done. We can create more board. You can see testing. testing. And testing. So see here we have another board called testing. All these boards are flexible. You can move it around. You can drag and drop. So we need to move testing to this place. So it's now we move item here to in progress. When we finish with test, we mark it as done. So that is how you do it. And then if you need to work on, this is what we call card. This is card, this is board. And under the board, on top of the board, we have different card that contains the work items. So we have different card. So I will move this card up. I will rearrange my work. I'm moving this because this is where I want to start. I want to start from this. And if I want to start, I can say, okay, the first item is for me to buy the license. And I will put it, if you go back, I'll put it in progress. So software licensing, that's the first item here. So, and I will contact Microsoft or any Microsoft vendor and make arrangements, negotiate and get the licensing. Once I get the licensing, then we can use it to start setting up and then start a configuration. So if I've done that and the developers now have what they can use to start setting up and configuration, that is done. They finish and set up the environment and we test, we can log in and start configuration, done. We move it to done. And then we'll start the configuration start now is now to configure the system to make sure that the sales rep should be able to create and manage a lead. So I will drag it and drop here. And after configuring this, and I will test it to make sure that I can create a lead. So testing. Once I've done the testing and I created a demo lead and it's working and I'm happy, I'll drop it here. We've done, see. So this can take days to do, not just as because you see I've not bought the bot. So that you don't go and finish everything in one day. It's not possible, you know. So then you drag the next item here. Maybe this is the second week. You drag this, and as you are working on this, you start having challenges with your laptop. Your laptop just pack. You don't know what to do. You raise flag. You raise a flag to tell the Scrum Master you're having challenges. See here, my laptop working. So you can't do anything because the laptop have packed, it stopped working, crashed, and you create. So you can see This has shown that anybody who is looking at our progress will know that one of the developers here is stopped. And once the Scrum Master sees that somebody is raising a red flag, the Scrum Master will come for rescue and then ask you what's going on and say your laptop will work. It's okay. The Scrum Master will go meet the IT team. If the IT team, they can fix it, they'll quickly fix it. If they cannot fix it, maybe they will give you a spare laptop, or they give you a new laptop. If you don't have a new laptop, they give you a spare one and they place order for a new laptop for you. So once they've given you a spare laptop to be using while they place order for a new laptop for you, you can go back to work and you come back here and remove the flag. Sorted, and you continue your work. You know, and you continue test, and then 2 days to closure of this sprint, and you test again, and yeah, remove all the work items. You've completed everything. It's not a must that you complete the work items, but it's a best practice if you complete them. But if you couldn't complete them and the sprint is about to end, meaning that you bite more than you can chew, then you move those work items back to product backlog to form the next work that are going to be carried out, or the next sprint. And that's it. If you finish like this, you don't just go. So that's it. You do not go. So when you are working, there's this, we call it insights. You look at this insight, you click on it here. It will show you what is going on. And this burn down chart is burn down chart. It helps you to track the work progress. So this is when this sprint is supposed to end. So if you are still working on this and this blue line crosses this ash line and you are still working, then you know you are delayed. It can't happen. You must finish by 4th of April, according to the, but you can see in our own case, this is it. We've already finished by this time, which means we finish on time. So, and if we are finishing on time, it means that we are underutilized, meaning that next time we will have to grab more work item, but for the purpose of lessons, so that's why we finish early. But if everything being equal, we should be able to finish by 4th of April. So if you go for a Scrum Master exam and they tell you what is burn down charts, what is it for sprint burn down charts, is used to track the work progress. That is it. Okay, and that's it here. So, and having done that, I want to bring your attention here. Yes, you've dragged everything to done. You just have to go. If you don't click complete, you cannot start another sprint because this sprint is still going on. There is no space for you to do. So all you need to do here is click. For instance, here, if you go to if you come here, I want to show you something. Look at here. You see there is no space. You can't start a new sprint. It's only on sprint 1 because there is work item here that need to be completed before another one. So you need to complete this ongoing sprint before you start another one. And you look at what I'm going to do as I'm going to complete this work. Once I complete this sprint, I will have, complete this sprint, I'll have space to start another work. So if you can see, you come back here, you see there is space here. Meaning that so you cannot start another one until you complete the one you are doing. So now I've completed the sprint 1. Now this sprint 2, I've created an environment for me to plan sprint 2. And once you close sprint 2, sprint 3 will come and create an environment. It's a continuous process. And that's it. That's how you move work item to JIRA, and then groom or refine the work items brought into JIRA. Then you move it to sprints where you do sprint planning, and after sprint planning, you start. And when you start, you execute all the work items within the sprint. And once you finish, you close. Once this is done, the next item is that before you start this, you need to do what we call sprint demo, but you don't do it here. It's a meeting. You call a meeting of stakeholders and demo. We are not coming here to demo this for them. We are not bringing them to JIRA. We are not coming to show them what you've done here. You need to take them to Dynamics 365 you've created and configured, and bring somebody to start creating all these items. You create a lead, you assign lead. Somebody has to do that for them to see what you've done. And demo is not because I've seen so many business analysts or scrum masters, or during the sprint demo, they will come with slides and start showing stakeholder slides with charts. No, we don't do that. Demo is practical. You need to demonstrate the work you've done within the software. So they need to be watching you as somebody is using the software that you implemented to do everything you captured within that software that you are going to, like all the user stories. Somebody needs to use those user stories. Somebody needs to create a lead. They create, not clipping a PowerPoint slide. You don't do that. So you are going to see people doing it, but it's not the best practice. So if the stakeholders allow it be, it means those stakeholders themselves are inexperienced. So, and that's it. Once you do the sprint demo, after the sprint demo, there's another meeting. You can hold those 2 meetings the same day. Then the next meeting is called sprint retrospective. Retrospective is the time the team will come and inspect and adapt. Kind of house cleaning before the next. Everybody have a meeting. You guys will talk about what didn't go well. Kind of lesson learned meeting in agile environment. We call it retrospective in agile. But if you go to waterfall, they call it lesson learned. Like a waterfall or Prince 2, they call it lesson learned meeting. So, and while the sprint is going on, another event is daily stand-up. While the sprint is going on, the team must have a 15 minutes meeting every day where everybody working on that sprint need to talk about what they have done, what they're planning to do that particular day, challenges they are having. And there, that is the time the stakeholder, the Scrum Master will take note of all the challenges. That is the risk management in sprint. They capture all the risk and troubleshoot all the risk, issues and risk, and that's it. So that is it about agile project management and sprint planning. So we've moved our product backlog here and we've completed our sprint. And that is the end of my story for tonight. So if you have any question, can bring it up. So the first hand raise here is OG. Let me look at OG Obun Asu, and then followed by Isaac. So OG, you can ask your question. Okay, I don't have time to wait for anybody. Isaac, you can have the floor.
Good evening, Mr. Charles, and thanks for the lecture. Just a quick one. Assuming we are executing a sprint, maybe let's just call it sprint one. The backlog has been prioritized, and we're executing, and somehow the stakeholders got information that the competitor is going to the market quicker than us with a product that is similar to what we are doing, and the project owner wants us to make some changes in that sprint. Can that be done?
The product owner, you cannot change when the sprint is because they've already, you can cancel, but bringing more work item onto a planned sprint is not advisable, you know. So, but the product owner can cancel. I think you've asked this question before, and I've addressed this question. The product owner can, yes, I know you've asked this question before. You can,
I'm listening to you, sir.
So you can cancel, the product owner have the right to cancel an ongoing sprint. But if there is a work that is important, you plan it for the next sprint, not onto that particular sprint. You can cancel and start another one, but to start another work onto a work that has been planned is not advisable. I use the word advisable because everything here is people do whatever they want to do. But what we are setting here is a guide people should follow. It's not advisable, it's not acceptable as, you know, in best practice. So you can prioritize and it becomes the next work or the next, if it's not in the next sprint, if the work items is not prioritized, you can move them up to become on top of the sprint, on top of the product backlog, so that it's going to be the next item to select. You know?
Okay.
Or you can equally stop if you feel that that particular work is not more important again, then the product owner can issue order that that particular sprint should be stopped. And they will be stopped because they have the right to do anything to stop an ongoing sprint.
Okay, why I asked the question is I read somewhere that in this instance, what now? A minimum viable, whatever. I can't remember the word again.
Minimum viable item. You must produce. Yes, yes, a minimum viable, but the product owner has, if you read well again, you see where they say the product owner have the right to cancel a sprint. If the work is obsolete, you find out they become obsolete, you don't need it again, the market have changed, and the product owner can give order, I don't want this sprint anymore, cancel it and start another one.
Okay. Okay. A second question. You said in waterfall we have lessons learned, and that's the same thing with the sprint retrospective after every sprint. So my question is, so are we not documenting lessons learned in during
We can't hear your last statement. If you can say it again.
for storage?
Your network.
Maybe you having network challenge, but yeah, from my calculation, what we're trying to say is that are we not documenting lesson learned? In agile environments, there is nothing like lesson learned in agile environment. There's no word called lesson learned in agile, in Scrum. They don't have lesson learned. What they have is called sprint retrospective, and it's only captured at the end of the sprint. So there is no lesson learned meeting or retrospective while the sprint is going on. According to Agile, I'm not quoting according to Charles, according to Agile, sprint retrospective can only take place immediately after sprint review.
Okay. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, it's raining here heavily, so I'm having network issues. So that therefore means that in Agile, we won't have, there is nothing like, I keep forgetting project management words here, but where you can store lessons so that if there's
Lesson learn meeting or lesson learn reports or whichever. Lesson learn is only in
Agile.
waterfall or Prince 2. In Agile, there is no term called lesson learn. Just like as in Agile, there is no word called project manager. You might hear some people using project manager in Agile, but it's wrong.
Yeah, it's Scrum.
What you have is called Scrum Master.
Yeah.
In Agile, there is no risk management. You can't hear the word risk management meeting, or what you are going to hear is daily stand-up. But you know that daily stand-up is meant for risk management. They have their own unique terminologies.
Okay. So therefore, if I'm doing Agile, I don't have to look for, I just have to concentrate on the project at hand. I don't have to look for anything to learn from previous projects.
Of course, you have lesson learned, which is called sprint retrospective. The point I'm telling you that is different. They call it sprint retrospective replaces lesson learned.
But the sprint retrospective, is it recorded and stored?
Of course.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
There is documents. Every meeting you have, whether in Agile, whether in waterfall, the purpose of a meeting is to come up with a decision. and it has to be documented. So every sprint retrospective must have action items, what needs to be done.
Okay.
And the Scrum Master will follow it up to address. You are having a meeting to capture, resolve issues, talk about what didn't go well, what should have been done. So whatever suggests that should be done, the Scrum Master will take it up to implement it and make it possible in the next meeting if it needs to be happening in the next sprint.
Okay.
So you don't just go for lesson learned to shake hands. Hey, Isaac, how are you? We finished this. So see you. No, it's an important meeting for inspection and adoption for continuous improvement.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Chief Isaac. And I think we don't have anyone else. So thank you, everyone, for this, and I'm looking forward to see you at this stage. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. Shesheni, again.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Charles.
All right.
JIRA and ClickUp, which would you recommend? Almost about the same thing, though.
They are not the same thing. JIRA is more like JIRA. I've got everything. JIRA is designed for agile. So
Okay.
ClickUp, I can't even. ClickUp have a lot of. It's too voluminous and it doesn't make sense to me. So I prefer JIRA. JIRA is more professional. JIRA or Azure DevOps. These two are more professional. Big companies tend to use it more. ClickUp is mainly for all these small startup companies who want to get everything in one platform, but in some cases they are giving you some values, but the value is not that up to the standard. So yeah, so all of them are good, but I prefer JIRA. Not because I'm using JIRA for a long time. I have ClickUp. Almost all I have accounts in almost based on my own personal experience. If I want to manage projects in agile environment, I prefer JIRA. And most big companies, if you have good experience of using JIRA, you have a good advantage because so many companies are using it. I found out so many companies, if they are not using JIRA, they are using Azure DevOps.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.